Hey, what's up, riders? It's the Lano Rider here. On this video, we're going to cover day 5 of the St. Louis trip, headed back to Amarillo. Leave Carthage and go to Stillwater, Oklahoma. Let's check it out. All right, riders, like I said, left Carthage the next morning on my way to Stillwater. First leg of that, I went down old Route 66 to Tulsa. And then after Tulsa, jumped off 66 and made a run to Stillwater to outrun a storm that was coming in. But hey, let's check out that route and let's check out the scenery. All right, so river comes up for my first leg. Where I left Carthage and then was headed towards Tulsa, but I got a little bit of a detour, which we'll go over a little bit later. So Oak Street in Carthage is old Route 66 that kind of leads you out of town here. A couple of old bridges are going over. Carthage is it's a smaller town. Older, smaller town, but it had a nice little atmosphere. Oak Street will then join old Route 60 or old 66 Boulevard, which is obviously Route 66. It's very green, very pretty. Not too many, no really hairpin turns or anything like that. Sweeping S's. It was a really nice ride. Once you get to Carterville, you'll take South Madison into Webb City, and then at Webb City you'll take Business Loop 49 into Joplin, and actually 7th Street in Joplin is old Route 66. Then I go into Glenna, Kansas, which those stills will be coming up here pretty quick. I was, again, beautiful ride, very green. When I get to these stills coming up, this is Gearhead Curious. I had arrived in Glenna, Kansas at about 9 o'clock, Gearhead, and I was really looking forward to going to Gearhead. However, they were closed. He doesn't open till 10. And so I walked around town, touched some, kind of the little downtown strip there they have, and checked it out. I was real disappointed I wasn't going to get to go inside Gearhead Curious. But, you know, at the time it was what it was. So I went ahead and jumped on the road. Here you'll see me leaving Glenna. Now I do want to point something out. So after you leave Glenna, you're going to hit this roundabout with this really cool 66 sign. I should have made a right here so that I could have seen the Rainbow Bridge, which we do see it, and I'll get to that here in a minute. But yeah, through Riverton, you're going to stay on 269. Through Riverton, 269 at that turnabout into Baxter Junction. You make a right on 10th Street, a left on Willow Avenue, and back into 69. That was kind of just a little detour so I could go downtown, or kind of go into Baxter instead of just kind of bypassing it. This is actually me going through Baxter now. Pretty little town. Wasn't too much there. But again, I was kind of trying to get on down the road. So here actually, I get into Oklahoma and I was like, I missed the Rainbow Bridge. I was really wanting to see the Rainbow Bridge. So I looked at it. It was about 15 minutes away, so I had turned around. They've just redone the Rainbow Bridge. Here's me rolling through it. Beautiful old bridge. You're gonna see some stills here in just a second. So as I was checking this out, I re-looked at my map and I said, you know what? Glenna's not far away. Let's go back to Gearhead Curious. So that's what I did. I went back to Gearhead. I met the owner, very cool guy. Coolest bathroom I've ever seen. Check out that urinal. It was pretty awesome. That's the lavatory. The water comes out of the old fuel spout. The window's a radiator. The lights are a valve cover. Those are old headlights from an old car, and then a carburetor cover for some more lights. So it was awesome. I'm glad I turned around. Here I am leaving Glenna again for the second time, and I do happen to take the right way on that turnabout this time, and I passed the Rainbow Bridge again. Very beautiful ride through here. Couple of good turns. The view's green and beautiful. I just really enjoyed it. So I'm not a baseball guy, but here to the left, it said Field of Dreams. So there was that movie with Kevin Costner. I'm curious if anybody out there knows if that was, I know it's based on a true story, was in Baxter Junction. Please let me know if you know. So anyways, after Baxter, you get on 69 through Quapaw. And then actually here on these stills, I stopped in Afton. This is the Cross Point Museum. I met the owner, Al, nice old man. So much cool stuff to look at. After here, I jumped back on 69 and I ate in Venta at a nice little restaurant. You'll see the pictures of that here in just a second. The Cross Point Museum was really cool. Had a little eat at the diner there, and then I got back on the road to headed to Tulsa. So just I did, to make up some time, I left Route 66 and jumped on 44. That's not here yet. This is still taking 69 out of Vita, headed towards 44. Not so much greenery, a little bit. Here I am on 44. I take that for several miles, as you could tell from Rever. And sorry, 69 will you'll take US 66 OK and then US 60. Jumped on 44. The US 66 OK and US 60 will take you, that will continue 66 and take you into Claremore. What I did was jumped on 44 and bypassed that and made up a little bit of time, and then got back on 66 in Claremore. So here I am exiting 44 and going back on 66. You know, between there and Tulsa, there was the Blue Well, which I stopped and checked out. That was pretty cool. Once you get into Tulsa, you'll go south on 193rd Avenue and then west on East 11th. And pretty much East 11th is the long run. So this is me heading still down 66 before Tulsa. Once you turn on 11th, it was pretty neat. Several stop signs, two-way road. These bridges were really cool, these old railroad bridges, and I think they were doing some kind of work on them, because once I kind of got into town, there was a couple sitting in a park. I don't know if that was part of just a attraction, something to look at, or if they were actually doing work. But at any rate, here I am on 11th Street. Very nice little ride through here. Said it was 2-lane. See an old fire station coming up here. It looked closed. I roll by it pretty slow. Just start getting into Tulsa. There's Tulsa 66 sign. That was cool. You know, you're starting to worry about town traffic. From here, I detoured a little bit off of that will come up here in a minute right here. I go south on Memorial Drive, headed to the Route 66 Harley-Davidson. Again, a lot of traffic. You have to watch for idiots. You'll actually see one here coming up in just a little bit. Yep, there's one. Thought they were going to go. But yeah, a lot of traffic. Kept my head on a swivel. And then here just shortly down the road, Route 66, Harley-Davidson is where I pulled in. Can't say enough about those guys. Really great, very, very, very friendly. As I was having my cigar there, I did discover that a storm was coming into Stillwater, so I was trying to beat it. So when I left Tulsa, I bypassed 66 through Tulsa to make up some time and try to get to Stillwater as quickly as possible. So I took 64 East, which was pretty much kind of interstate. Wasn't super busy. It was really, so when I got to Keystone Lake, which will be coming up here in just a minute, I take 151, which is also the Manford Expressway, into Stillwater, and that was a very, very pretty ride. Several, here's the lake. You go over the Cimarron at some point. It was a very, very pleasant ride. I enjoyed it very much. My daughter was working. She is in vet school at Oklahoma State University, and so she's on her last year, and she's doing her rounds. So she wasn't there when I got there. So I stopped at the Sonic when I first got into Stillwater, and started sprinkling on me on my way to her home, and then got the bike unloaded and stored. Her landlord actually had a place for me to get it out of the weather just in case it held. Very nice guy. And no sooner did I get in than it just started a downpour. No hail, thank goodness, but it just downpoured. And then the next morning, before hitting the road, I got to have dinner with her, and then it was on home to Amarillo. But this is a real pretty ride. I'll leave you with a little bit of music, probably just a couple of minutes left, and then we will wrap day 5 up. Enjoy. right, riders. So that was Carthage to Stillwater. Man, it was a lot of fun. Shout out to Gearhead Curious in Kansas. Man, that was a very cool place. If you're ever down Route 66 in Kansas, you really need to stop there. Also, Al over at Cross Point Museum in Afton, Oklahoma. Man, that guy was really cool. Very nice old man, and really enjoyed looking at his place. So all in all, really just a great ride. So let's go ahead and rate this one.
Brother.
All right, guys, did again 5 out of 5. I will say, although I gave it a 5, I don't think it was as good as day 3 or 4, or 2. But it was still a really good ride, a lot different than what I'm used to here up on the Llano Estacado. But it was good. I really enjoyed it. My next video will be day 6, and actually I'm going to make a confession. I did not record anything on day 6 because I was ready to get home. I jumped on the interstate and ran, so really wasn't much footage, you know, interstate running. But I do want to talk. I want to kind of summarize the trip, some of the things I learned. Also, as I'm doing that, I'm going to kind of give homage to Ruby, since that was the last long trip with her. Me and Brandy did ride her down to Lubbock, which is like a 2-hour ride, and stayed the weekend down in Lubbock. Actually, the weekend before I traded her. So anyways, kind of a homage, some pictures you may or may not have seen. You may have seen them if you've been on my Facebook page. You probably have not if from YouTube. But anyways, Ruby was a great bike, so I want to pay a little homage to her and talk about some things, especially what I learned on this trip and things I would have perhaps done different. So that'll be the next video. Then the video after that will be introducing you to the next bike. So as far as I stopped at Route 66, Harley-Davidson, as I said in the commentary, actually I gotta do this without showing you new bike. So this is the other Tulsa shirt I got against the wind, and guys, I really dig the back. Being a vet, Tulsa probably has the best backs I've seen thus far. And then both Tulsa shops from day 1 and then the day 5, friendliest Harley-Davidson I've been to on any of my trips. Really great people. Not that the other ones were rude, just these guys were over the top nice. Really interested about where I came from, where I was going, you know, and just both Tulsa shops were great. But anyways, so as always, if you like my content, please give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe so you will know when I set out publish new videos. And as I said before, I am on Facebook as well, the Llano Rider, LLANO. So look me up there. I post some shorts and some other stuff. I posted some shorts of the ride I took this weekend. That might give you a preview of the upcoming bike, of the new bike. So anyways, until the next time, guys, hope to see you out there on the road. Ride safe. Later.